want to drill it in your heads this week that this is what you need to be watching on the market. This will give you such a big signal for where we're headed for probably the next several weeks.
I was down, but now I'm up. Yeah, this all God, this ain't no luck. Yeah.
Last week, I was talking about these levels on the SPY, and I said, on a longer time frame, what we're looking at is potentially a bear flag. And we've seen the bear flag pretty much retrace to the max of what it can retrace to before I say, hey, this is now bullish. So we're at a real key level right now for this market. If we can climb over that high that we had on Friday, mostly just in the pre-market is when we were actually above that 521 level, and then we end up closing below it. We had that bearish denial, and what I wouldn't be surprised, even if you're bullish, is if we see retracement likely back down to 516 for the beginning of this week, a period of consolidation. Maybe people will interpret it as some risk off ahead of CPI, and then I think you're going to get the big test. You're going to get, okay, are we going to all-time new highs? Are we going to break this level right here? Are we going to push to something like 528, 529? Are we going to get this huge retracement that we're talking about last week that we see historically is very significant for where you see the lows in this, mid-May to early June time frame where we do have this period of consolidation before it pretty much rockets off for the rest of the year. So, as a short-term trader, I'm trying to really, really, really fine tune and time this type of movement. All right. So what I'm looking for is that move to the downside, which, by the way, you also have a great setup, I think, to short Apple at the beginning of this week. If we break below the lows on Friday, I come in here and I short this. I look for like 178. We can see our fibs actually set us at 177.90. I think that's a great target to look for. Below that, 175, which is also a pretty key level for the stock, might be a potential that you hold for some runners. Before I give some commentary on the economic data that's coming up, it's going to be really important this week. I do also want to cover Baba. I talked about this as being a great trade. We've gone through this period of consolidation. Honestly, it looks like we're going to see some more continued consolidation here. I'm seeing some weakness on the 1 hour, like this. Let's roll over a bit and bounce around some more. But again, on the daily and on the weekly here, we are still incredibly strong on this stock. And I think, for my long dated calls, I am perfectly fine to just ride it out. This week on economic data, okay, I've kind of bounced around a little bit on this, but there's a few key things that we can definitely drill here. All right. One, pay attention to these auctions. These auctions have been building a ton of volatility in the market. It's caused some pretty extreme impulse moves in correlation with DLT. So watch when these auctions happen and watch how SPY reacts. See if that trend continues. It might create some opportunities for some really quick day trades. Okay, have that on your radar. The other thing that we kind of talk about the broader market is we've seen liquidity get completely evaporated from this. I mean, we're talking volume is lower than '08. It's really expressing high levels of uncertainty. I know everyone on Twitter is saying this is gonna happen, that's gonna happen, and there's so many people who want to act like they know exactly where the market's heading next. But what we're seeing expressed on the market is crazy levels of uncertainty is how you should interpret that. By the way, the melt up means nothing, means absolutely nothing yet. Okay, you have to break these key levels before you're bullish. If you know someone who's extremely bullish right now, they don't understand market mechanics, right? A passive market or uncertain to market, or when you're in these low volume environments, it's always going to go up. Okay, and I told you last week, like, hey, this week we're starting this week off bullish. We ended up being able to stay that way pretty much most of the week until Friday, where we were able to come in with some puts and get some great returns. But you have to understand that all these passive products, these 401ks, these Roth IRAs, these pensions, they're just passively buying the market. They're robotic. They don't care. They don't pay attention. They don't have brains even. They just do it, okay? The markets go up. That's why that meme is a thing, right? Because there's a solid level of truth behind it, okay? Markets go up because of all these passive incremental, vehicles. So given that, And given that we'll likely see some volatility, and we got Powell coming in, and it'll probably cause some volatility because some volume will come in the market. Everyone will want to trade it. I don't think it's going to be a big deal, though. I think whatever trend we had previous to that will start to show itself again. Okay, so then what you got to actually watch, pay attention to, is CPI. So CPI is going to be really interesting. That's probably when you're going to see volume come back. Now, if the CPI print is good as inflation comes down, I think that could be bullish. I still don't think it will be the ultimate signal of the Fed pivot, but the market might overreact and get excited because it feels like it has some more clarity, and that it could get more confident in the fact that the Fed will actually pivot. What you want to watch is, will the bond market actually react? Okay, will the bond market actually tell you that it's going to happen? Okay, if the bond market rallies, if stocks rally, hey, you're probably going to break that level. You're probably going to get back bullish. If CPI is a miss, or if it's in line with expectations, that might be really bearish, and that might send us back to a downward spiral, because the weakness isn't there for the Fed to actually pivot yet, and they're going to be really scared of inflation, and they're going to be really slow to move. So even if it's in line with expectations, I wouldn't see that as necessarily bullish. The rest of the week is pretty much a nothing burger, and that's pretty much all you got to be watching for this economic calendar. I just want to remind everyone, like, what is here on YouTube is a fraction of what I post in the Discord in real time, keeping you updated on what I'm seeing, what I'm looking for, what trades I'm taking, my trade rules, my strategy, what links I use for trading. It's all on there. And by the way, also on Monday morning, I'll be live on X. I'm now a regular speaker on four technically live shows. One on Monday morning, one on Monday afternoon, and then Thursday morning and Thursday afternoon. 2 are for crypto, 2 are for stocks. Go follow me on X. You can find all that. The links for those are down in the bio. And that's going to be it for this video, guys. Super short one, but it's very clear what we got to look for. Confirmations are there. Good luck on your trading this week. God bless.